Okay, so today we'll be looking at business writing. Business writing. And, you guys, what we've been doing is to introduce you guys to different forms of writing. Yesterday, you look at L-high writing, and, that is also a very technical piece of writing that most people don't even know that. I mean, there's something like that. And, I'm glad when even Marianne actually mentioned that, hey, I didn't even know there's anything like L-high writing, and she's probably a writer herself. So, and we've looked at news writing, journalistic writing, creative writing, writing for the web. So we're looking at forms. After our initial meeting, where we look at the genres or the forms of writing, we are looking at now at what are the different forms. And this is another type, or this is another form of writing, business writing. This is also technical, just like what we treated yesterday, which is business L-high writing. And for business writing, let's take note of these points. This applies to writing generally. Good writing is not an accidental endeavor. For you to be able to write well, for you to be able to write in an appealing manner, you've got to plan your writing. You've got to practice your skill, practice your trade. You can't just say, okay, I've written one and then it's fine. Or because I'm not writing to submit anything now, then I don't need to write. If you want to be a good writer, you have to be a practicing writer. You have to keep practicing, keep at it, keep churning out the writing, the pieces, the notes, the thoughts. And then you also have to revise. You have to learn to also revise what you have written. And because every piece of writing about you that somebody is reading is creating an image about you in the mind of your readers. Your readers are either seeing you as an authority, as a credible person, as a tactless person, as a careless person, as an untidy person, as a very organized person. Whatever it is that you have written that is in the public space for people to read about you is conveying some emotion, some imagery about your person to your readers. And as I always say, speaking gives you platform, it gives you leadership, but writing gives you credibility because it's easier to speak than to write. Any fool can talk, and most fools talk. You hear the very catchphrase, talk is cheap.
Yep.
Talk is cheap. Any fool can talk, but not every fool can write. Yes, some fools write, but not every fool write. Sorry, I forgot to have. I need to make other posts. So writing is that. So writing is not something that everybody does. However, when you're not doing business writing, because it is business writing, doesn't mean that it should be tacky, it should be complex, it should be difficult to read or to understand. It should be an effortless read. So you have to take extra effort to ensure that your writings come out as simple enough for your audience to grasp. And even if you are writing technical stuff, like a business piece, for instance, it should want to make your readers want to continue reading. Your writing should be engaging, should be appealing, should be persuasive. And I'm glad we've done persuasive writing. I think that was 2 weeks ago or last week. Then your business writing should be clear and should be concise. Use short sentences and simple words, simple terms. Don't try to impress your audience by getting verbose or using bombastic terms. No, it's a business writing. In as much as you're going to use some register, some terms, you should try and be as simple as you can be. And your writing should keep to the facts. Keep to the facts. Don't start to insert credibility killers in your writing. Credibility killers are those things that just make the audience feel, what is this one writing about? You're quoting a date that is not accurate. You are citing information that do not align. That is not the way to write in an acceptable, in an appealing, in a credible way. So you keep to the facts. Don't embellish facts because you want to impress your readers. Then when it comes to the still business writing or even, writing generally, you need to, and this is the rule of thumb in any communication endeavor, consider your reader or your readers as the case may be. That's why if it's in a very technical communication context, it will say, know your demographics, know your audience. Who are you writing for? Who are you communicating to? This piece you're writing, is it a business letter? Is it a proposal? Is it a business report? Is it a feasibility study? Who is it meant for? You have to know your reader. And I always cite some interesting anecdote about the power of the audience, because also in communication terms or in publishing terms, the audience is called a tyrant. You have to respect the tyranny of the audience, because at any point in time, the audience you are writing for, or that you are speaking to, or that you are communicating to, if it's even beyond writing, they wield 4 powers over you. How many powers did I say? How many powers, please?
4 powers.
4 powers. 4 powers of the audience. That is what even highlight the tyranny of the audience, the tyranny of the readers. The first power your audience has over you is the power of selective exposure. It's not in any of the slides. So if you have a pen and a note, you can take it down. The power of selective exposure. That means the audience has the power, the prerogative to choose out of the dozens or hundreds of writings they see online, in the newspaper, the books that they see, they have the power to choose the ones they want to read. They want to be exposed to. That is the power of selective exposure. There can be on my books, on my table, there are many books. And I'm looking at them right now, and I can, if I want to read, okay, this is my reading time. I will have to pick one of these books to read. I won't start to leaf through all the books. That is the power of selective exposure. So if your writing doesn't look neat, it looks untidy, it looks crass, it looks unorganized, the audience may not read it. It may be your letter, it may be your email, it may be anything you have written, any communication piece you are putting forward. If your headline is tacky, it's not tight, it's not appealing, it's not attractive, I won't even click on the headline to say I want to read it. So that's why you have to prepare very well so that you can actually communicate in a way that the audience will want to engage your piece of writing, your piece of communication, your blog, your article, your book. If your book doesn't have an appealing title, why should I pick it up and read? Why should I even buy it in the first place? Even if it's free, why should I read it? So the audience has that power of selective exposure. The next power the audience has over the communicator or the writer in this context is the power of selective attention. Now, I've picked a book from my table and I want to read this book. I don't have to read everything. I can look through the preface or through the table of contents. What are the issues or the topics covered in this book? Oh, and I look at this one. Okay, I want to read this one, and it's on chapter 5. And I leaf through the pages and I go directly there. I'm not interested in reading the introduction, the preface, the chapter 1, the whatever. I'm just interested in what the author is saying in chapter 5. It can be on a website. There are so many articles. Do you know how many billions of websites there are in the world? I can even, okay, I've decided to expose myself to the Intense page, to the Intense website. And I go to that website and I'm looking at the website and I'm seeing several articles scrolling here and there. I don't have to, I don't have to attend to all of them. I just want to read something. And I look at, oh, this one, and I click on it. That is the one I am attending to. I'm exercising my power of selective attention. And if it's even a communication piece that has been shared with me, and you give me this whole gamut of information, I don't need to attend to everything. I can just pick the piece I need. And that is the one I'm attending to. So that is the second power of the audience. The third power is the power of selective retention. Selective retention. Now I'm reading this piece on security by Azubike on the intent side. And no, he's talking about security generally, but he started talking about cybersecurity. And I've read, I don't know how many paragraphs this piece is, but out of the 8, 9, 10 paragraphs, this portion about cybersecurity intrigues me, piques my interest. So I'm retaining those information. Oh, he said that so and so, and I'm keeping those information in my head. So I'm exercising the power of selective retention. I choose what I retain. You might have said so many things, define security, define all manners of the forms, the whatever of security, but I'm retaining cybersecurity. I'm discarding every other thing in my brain. That is power of selective retention. And now the last power, which is power 4, which is the most dangerous one, is the power of selective interpretation. The audience decides the meaning. You don't control it. That's why you're supposed to write in as simple language as possible. Don't obfuscate your audience. The power of selective interpretation, because interpretation, as we've been told, is personal. Interpretation is personal. I read this thing and I'm seeing, as you can saying that cybersecurity is not even in Nigeria yet. And this guy is saying that this cybersecurity is not in Nigeria. And that is what that is not what he meant. But that is what I'm imposing as my own meaning. So what does it mean? How can he say there's no cybersecurity in Nigeria, cyber threat in Nigeria? The audience has that power over you. Or if you have written in the language that is too highfalutin, is too complex, you are using too many terms, and the others cannot relate to what you're writing, they can exercise that power over you in a dangerous manner. In a very dangerous manner. So that is why each communicator, each writer has the responsibility to himself, to ourselves, and to the readers to be as simple as possible so that there won't be any room for misinterpretation. Because the audience can misinterpret what you said. And they will be in the right because interpretation is personal. And how many people will you be explaining to? This is not what I meant. This is not what I. How many people? Some of them we don't even know them. They've read and they've gone with their interpretation of your writing. So if you are writing for a low grade audience, you have to come to their level. You have to write at the level. If you are speaking to them, you have to speak in the language you understand. So another imperative, you have to be responsive. As far as business writing is concerned, you have to be responsive. You can't just write and then that is it. When the person you write to responds or sends a reply, you have to acknowledge. Even if you are the one that is receiving a mail that is official or that is in a business context, you are meant to acknowledge that correspondence, that piece of business writing or information that is being disseminated to you. You have to be responsive. Then when you are writing, you have to be concise and straight to the point. And then be friendly and build relationship, not tear them down in your business writing. Be friendly, build relationship. Don't isolate, don't antagonize, don't use hostile language. There's either you take it or you leave it. That is not friendly. That is not a business communication. Then learn to emphasize the positive. Then be prompt. You have to be prompt in replying, in attending to what you're supposed to attend to. Then check your spelling and grammar. Check the facts as well. Check credibility killers. Check credibility killers in your writing. Very important. Then your format, use the correct format. If it's business proposal, there's a way proposal should look. If it's a letter, there's a way a letter should look. If it's a report, there's a way. So you have to also use the right format for what you're writing. So for technical or workplace writing, which is what we actually talk about, because that's what business writing is about, what is the purpose of this writing? Why am I even writing this in the first place? You have to take note of that. Then, who are your readers? Who are your audience? And we just talked at length about the power of the audience. Then, what are the requirements of these documents you are writing? What are the style? What are the norms in terms of this is the way, just like I said, the format should be. This is the way a business report is written. This is the way a proposal is written. This is the way, I mean, you have to, what are those things? I mean, am I satisfying them? Or I'm writing a report as a business proposal? You will lose your audience and they won't even bother. What is this one? This one doesn't even know what they're writing about. Get to the point. Don't use convoluted constructions. Go straight and simple. Then make sure the information that is captured in your writings, they are accurate. That's why you should do your research. Don't give incorrect date because every piece of writing gives gives an idea or an image about you. Is this person tacky? Is this person untied? Is this person? So it is saying something about you. Then be logical in the presentation of your materials, of your points. Go sequentially. Build from bottom up. Then be grammatically correct. Make sure you do your your checks, and you proof your writings, which you also do your revision as well. Yeah, your diction must be efficient, must be suitable for the kind of writing you are doing. You can't be talking in medical terms to an engineering audience. So you use the right diction for the right audience. And your ideas, the ideas you are trying to portray, you're trying to talk about, must be accessible, must be clear. You can't be writing above the head of your audience. You can't be writing above the intelligence of your readers. If you are doing that, that means you need to do lots of footnotes, lot of glossaries where you'll be able to explain some of the things that you are saying that are not accessible to them. And that also on its own is not tidy. Then, depending on what you're writing, use bullets, use numbers to organize your points. Then the paging must be well formatted if you have to do it, in printed format. And then also manage your time. Manage your time, because we are talking business now. Time is money. So, and that you also have to manage your time. You can't spend too much time on introduction because I want to wow them. No. So you must manage your time in the construction very efficiently. The process of writing, either for business or any other form of writing, you do your brainstorming and information gathering, always the first step. Then you plan and outline your writing or your communication. What are the points I'm going to talk about? Which one will come first? Which one will come next? What are the issues, the sub points I'm going to cover under each heading? Those are the things that's outlining. You plan that. You plan it before you even start. And then once you've had that skeleton built, then you now start to do the first draft. Do the first draft. First draft is not always the final piece. Some of us is just the first one we do, and you can't turn in the first one because it's still a rough. It's a rough draft. With revisions and review, you will see that there are things that can be improved. There are expressions that you can make tighter, that you can make more suitable, more bespoke to to the audience or for the purpose of the writing. So you can't just turn in your first draft. You do your revision yourself. You do reviews. And once you've done that, then you now also need to edit and proof what you've written. And I'm glad you guys have done editing, doing one of the plenaries. The different kind of editing, substantive editing, copy editing, line editing. So you know which one am I doing? Which one am I even good at? So, and this is the writing process. Then in terms of letters, we'll just run through this and then we'll end with proposal. Because we're talking business writing and we need to cover everything today. I usually take this particular one in 2 bits, but I think we just have to end everything today. So business to business letters, B2B, as is popularly known today. You have advertising letters, you have cover letters, you have sales letters. Those are letters that you use to actually also back up a sale. You are trying to be your sales copy. You're trying to get your readers, your audience, to respond by way of purchase, buying, patronage, sign up, whatever you want them to do. And every sales copy must follow the AIDA principle, AIDA, must grab attention, must arouse interest, must provoke desire, and then propel action. AIDA, no matter how small it is, even if it's a paragraph, even if it's a sentence, you must ensure that you capture these 4 elements in your copy, in your sales letter. Grab attention, arouse interest, provoke desire, or instigate desire, and then provoke or propel action from your reader. Then, letters of introduction, when you're introducing either a product, a service, an equipment, a concept, a new technology that your company just introduced to the market. So that is the letter that gives, it comes as a cover letter to introduce the bigger document that is coming after, if once they finish reading the letter. So this one will have given them like an overview, a highlight of what it's to come. So it's very important. You can't just send a document without introducing it. That is not professional. Job-related letters, which we all know, cover letter, that's one that accompany your resume, job application, very influential too, to get you an interview, because some people just, when you advertise a position, some people just forward their CVs or resumes to you. That is very lazy. Just forward, and some are even so tacky that they even because they've been forwarding that same whatever, they will just forward the forward. You just see forward in the letter that whatever they are forwarding to you. Those are the ones that get deleted first. So we are sending your application, you're sending your resume, there should be a cover letter to go with it. And depending on what you're doing, an inquiry letter, which will request for more information, or in response to your sales letter, you can do this. Order letter which one you use to generate the your purchasing order, when you send to another entity or a business vendor, requiring them to bid or to submit a proposal, or to make a tender. And then transmitter letter is the one that accompanies a proposal. Just like you have your cover letter for jobs, for resumes, the one that goes with proposal is called transmitter letter. It's not a cover letter. We are talking business writing, and these are letters that you use to build relationship, to entrench relationship. Apology letters. When there's a transaction gone wrong, you are supposed to do an apology letter to just apologize to the client or to the customer you are corresponding with, explain to them what went wrong, be sincere, and be sincere. Don't try to cover, don't try to defend the indefensible. Just be sincere, acknowledge the wrong, let them know that you are doing something about it. That way, they see that you value their business, you value their relationship, they will do business with you. Not that one bad transaction will not lead to the end of engagement with you. Then there's also adjustment letter. This one tells you, tells the customer what has been done to redress the wrong. So this one is, it can be like a follow-up to the apology letter, or you didn't even apologize, you just tell, oh, we've taken action about this. The person responsible has been sanctioned. These are what we did, just to adjust the wrong, redress the situation. And then response letter, when somebody has sent one to you, you also send that in return. And then thank appreciation letter. That's the one that you send to thank a customer for their business, for patronizing you. Let me see, I can watch this, or I can just skip this. And we just go some of these things. I would just want to go to business proposal. Yes, so that we can end with that. I still have another meeting after this, so also trying to maximize my time. Proposal as selling instruments. Not just the facts, but also providing for processes, solutions about what you are proposing, to the solution you're proposing to your audience, or to your clients, to your customers, to your prospects. They should be accurate. They should be detailed and they should be written in a persuasive manner. Now, proposal is not just a price quote. It's not a bill of materials, it's not a project plan, it's not a scope of work. It's not about your company history. It's a sales document, and it is meant to move the sales process forward towards closure. Now, it should include all this, but your price quote is not your proposal, your bill of materials, your project plan or scope of work is not your those are elements of it. Your company history is not your proposal, it's part of the proposal. A proposal is a sales instrument. And proposals generally address three things. What would the customer, the person reading this, the business reading, what would they gain from buying this product, engaging this service, making this subscription, signing up for this solution? Why is it worth acquiring? Why is this solution worth acquiring to them? Why do they need it? Do the operations depend on it? Do the profitability? Do you have to highlight why they need to? And then if they decide they want to, how will your claims be validated? Are you saying that if we buy this product from you, my lifespan will increase by 10 years? What are your statistics? What are the facts you are going to show me to validate your claim in your proposal? That once they get this are the good people. Who are those who have used it before, and what are the results they found or they got as a result? You have to be able to make me validate your claims based on previous usage or users or patronage, as the case may be. And the proposal should identify the problem of the client. Don't talk your solution first. What is the problem of the client that your solution is meant to resolve? Most of us will just get consumed with how this technology is good, is this. What problem is this technology going to solve? And is it a really pertinent problem? Note that it's not every problem that everybody wants to solve. We all have problems, but our problems are in degrees. There are some problems that they are just minute, they are just there. I don't want to solve them. I'm not agitated about solving them yet. So don't start to major on the minor things. What are the problems and how major are those problems that your proposal is solving? Then it should contain convincing information. How are you validating your facts, your claims? Then your detail must be good. Must be your solutions must be detailed. What do they stand to get? How would they go about it? What would they get as a result? Then with credible explanations, they should be thorough and be clear about it. In your claims, in your writing, in your communication, be thorough, be clear, be consistent in the format. You can't start with Times New Roman at the beginning, then you jump to Century Gothic in the middle, and then at the conclusion you use Garamond. You have to use consistent formatting, consistent, style in your writing, in your document, even in your presentation. You can see this slide. All the back is white. You won't see one is black, one is brown, one is no. You have to be this is a business document. You have to be consistent in your formatting, your stylistics, in your structure. And if you are looking at, you see that the same font size, the same this is same that. That is how you do a business writing. Then what are the competitive advantages of your solution? What are the unique selling points that it has over the competition? And then how attractive is it to the client in terms of cost? Yes, you have this technology that can make me add 10 more years to my lifespan. How much is it going to cost me? Do I have to go and look for $1 billion to pay for it? Can I afford that? Yes, it's going to increase my lifetime by 10 years, but can I afford to pay 1 billion? The client would rather die. No, be looking for 10 billion for something they've not even tested yet. So it has to also be attractive to your client in terms of the cost. And then your proposal should contain selling documents. What are the track records? Who have used the solutions before? What are the profile? I mean, what even makes your company the one to be able to market this kind of product? What are your track record? And here are the scenes of proposal writing. When you don't focus on the client's problems, you just focus on your own solutions, on your own technology, on your own proposition. What is my problem that you are trying to solve? You can't just be telling me I've come up with this fantastic innovation. This is that. What is the problem I'm trying to solve? And how does your solution align with that? When it's not persuasive, because you have this fantastic stuff, then you just have to sound very arrogant about it. Your proposal must sound persuasive. You are trying to persuade me to buy, to subscribe, to sign up, to patronize the solution. So you must use those. And you remember when we did our persuasive writing, you have to be persuasive. And then when there's no clear differentiation between you and then the other vendors, every other person is producing such a water. What makes your own different? What are your unique selling points? What are your competitive advantages? If you don't do that, it's a sin in proposal writing. It's a sin in business proposition writing. Or if you differentiate and you don't even make it compelling enough for them to, oh, wow, this is actually the best. I will go for this no matter how much it costs. When you don't give a compelling argument about your USP, about your advantage, about what makes your solution unique, you have to give a compelling argument about it. Or when maybe your key points are buried in the writing, you don't use bullets to highlight them, you don't use numbers, you don't even break the sentences, everything is just one rambling long rambling string of text. Some points will be buried because you've not been able to highlight them. That is a sin in proposal writing. And when your piece is difficult to read and they are full of jargons, because it's a technical stuff, you just start to use jargons, start to talk above the head of your audience, then that is a sin in proposal writing, in business writing, any form of writing at all. And then when there are credibility killers in your writing, misspelling, grammatical errors, punctuation errors, when you don't use the right client's name, the client is a male, you are calling him madam. The client is a female, you are calling her sir. When you don't do your research, don't do your information, you sort of make all these silly mistakes. And that is a sin. You're supposed to get your file. That's why you're supposed to know your audience before you even start to do the communication in the first place. Demographic analysis, demographic examination. Who am I writing for? Who is the head of that company? Who is supposed to read my writing? Who is supposed to read my proposal? Uh, I'm not sure we've talked much about this, but proposal has value to you and to the clients who, because I'm looking at our time and I want us to just close on time. Then what are the components of a proposal writing? Background of the problem. You have to state, of the problem definition. What are the issues you're trying to solve? What is the objectives? What are the objectives of your proposal, of your communication? What is the methodology? What are the methods that are going to deploy in solving those problems of your audience, of your target, of your readers, of your customers? How long in terms of time it's going to take you when they start to apply the solution? How long will it take before they can start seeing results? Short term, medium term, long term results. Then when the results even start to come, how do they evaluate the effectiveness of your audience? How are we sure that it's not just some random stuff that are happening, what they call co-founders, that are getting the result that is as a result of patronizing your own solution? That's why the problem are coming. And what the solution are, solutions are coming. Then what are what's the payment schedule? Somebody wants to pay. How much do they pay to start? When did they pay the second payment? When did they pay the final tranche? Or is it something they have to pay everything at once? You have to state that in your proposal. You can't say, okay, when you decide to do it, I will now send you a payment schedule. No, everything must be in your proposal. Then the profile of the organization or even the person that is providing the solution. What are your track records? What have you done in similar area? What proprietary items or authority do you have to be able to even be the ones to push this kind of solution forward? And if there are appendices, there are attachments, things to validate your claim, maybe you have testimonials, written testimonials, media testimonials you want to attach, or some government documents to show that yes, you are able to provide a solution, you are able to achieve results, and the client will get a value for their money. So these are the components you need to try and meet up with when you are doing a proposal. And I think it should be the last slide. 7 questions to keep you client focused in your, because it's easy to just deviate and start to talk about your solutions, start to wax lyrical about the grandiose nature of your services, of your technology, of your product. You should keep yourself client focused by asking yourself these questions. What is the client's problem or need? What do they want? What do they need? What is the problem they are facing? And what makes this problem worth solving? As I said, it's not every problem that we want to solve. It's not every problem that everybody wants to solve. All of us, we have various degrees. Imagine, for those of us, we are in Africa mostly. In the morning, you usually hear the cocks crowing in the morning. Cock crow in the morning, and so some people that may be a disturbance, but how many people really want to kill all those all those chickens? How many people want to stop the cockroaches? It's a problem for some people, but it's not a problem I want to solve. They are living their lives. So I'm just using a very banal and general, example. So it's not every problem that we really want to solve. So what makes this problem worth solving? Before I start to go to town with my solutions, and what goals will be served or must be served by, if this problem is being solved, what are the goals that the client, the customer, the audience, the market will be achieving as a result? And which of these goals have priority in terms of importance, in terms of prominence? And my solution, my technology, my product, my service, I need to meet this. Can it solve this problem? Can it meet these goals? So you should ask myself, it's not everything you have that is meant for everybody. So if you look, who are this solution? Who is it meant for in terms of the audience? And what result are likely to follow from if they adopt my recommendation, if they patronize my service, if they buy my solution? What would be the result for them? What would be the advantages they will have? What would be the ease that they will enjoy as a result? And if I compare this to the desired outcomes, the desired goals, at which recommendation is best? Should I tell, oh, yeah, if this is what you want to achieve, this is what my product, my service, my solution, my expertise will do for you, and we are in alignment. But this you should do first. Not because I want to sell the bigger one, the one that is more expensive, and now push to them if it won't serve the immediate or the high priority need. You also have to be client focused. We're talking about client focus here. End of session. Question and answer. Do we have any question? Anybody have a question for me to, or you have anything to add? Please, you have the mic now. Let's hear you.
Right. Thank you, sir, for this almost very exhaustive presentation.
Yep.
I've learned a lot of new things today.
Yep.
So my question is, you described about the 4 powers of the reading audience, which comprises selective exposure, selective attention, selective retention, and selective interpretation.
Yes.
Now, as a writer or as author, do
Mhm.
we have any power, or does the writer have any power over the reading audience? I'm just curious.
Your power is in your communication tool. Is actually writers are influencers.
Okay.
Because I used to teach management communications at Lagos Business School. And the very first assignment I used to give my MBA students is that, we hear readers are leaders.
Yes.
And my first question would be, if leaders are readers, or if readers are leaders, what are writers? And I get all sorts of very interesting submissions and all that. But the thing is that writers are influencers. As a writer, you can influence because people tend to believe what they read than what they hear. So your writing tool is one of the most powerful equipment that you as a writer has, as a person has. If you are a good writer, you have a power, you have this tool that is very powerful. That's why you also hear such saying that the pen is mightier than the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword. So the power that the writer or the author has is that power of influence. That power of influence, because with influence, you can get people to do anything. So far, you articulate your points or your argument very well and in a very convincing manner. Nations have been torn apart just through maybe an article that was published and all that. So, is that powerful? So that is the power you have, the power of influence as a writer. I hope
Okay.
that is okay for you as part of your toolkit.
Very clear, sir. Very okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other question, please? Or have we all left? Any question, any comment, any agreement or disagreement? Okay, if there's none, I want to say thanks for coming. Marianne has left us. So Marianne is absent for this meeting because I think somebody left very early at the beginning of this. So she's absent effectively for this meeting. So see you guys next week. I believe we'll be having another guest. Or Mary, is this the end of the plenary, or do we still have 1 or 2 more to go?
No, sir, it's not the end.
Okay, but
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not the one coming next week, right?
No, sir.
Okay. So you guys will be having somebody else taking you next week. So thanks for coming. Have a wonderful and restful weekend. From
Thank you,
here,
sir.
I want to say bye.